How old is Garry's Mod? Not just Gmod 13, but Garry's Mod as a whole. As of making this video, Garry's Mod is over 20 years old, and it is still being updated to this day. Huge shout out to the developers from Facepunch Studios. Garry's Mod lets you mount other games made on the source game engine. Let's see what we got. 27 games. Yes, I'm counting Half-Life 2 and its episodes as one game. How much is all that? $182.85, plus Garry's Mod itself, so that's $192.84. And that seems like a lot, but considering the time and effort the developers put into these games, it's a fair price. What? You thought I was going to add us in because the combined end price is high? You're high, get out of here. The mod Insurgency has been renamed to Insurgency Modern Infantry Combat since the game Insurgency was made. How long has this been here? It can't be because of how long the name of the mod is, right? Counter-Strike Go Legacy Branch is the game with the longest name here, so hang on. 527 divided by fish minus 1 cactus. Insurgency Modern Infantry Combat and Counter-Strike Go Legacy Branch are 34 characters long. Wow. Okay, so no, the issue is not the length of the name. Well, my nitpicky buck can't figure it out, so the Stanley Parable is on here, but the demo for the Stanley Parable is not. If you haven't played the Stanley Parable demo, I would highly recommend it. It's free. It does not spoil the main game, interestingly enough. But why is it not in the mount options? I crap you not. The guy in charge of putting games on this list was like, yeah, it's free, just use the mount CFG file. Bruh. Speaking of the mount CFG file, what does that do? Well, my sweet summer child, it lets you play games made on the source game engine by porting the maps, models, and textures to Garry's Mod, allowing you to screw around with game assets. What makes the mount options in the main menu different? Well, if you have all of the Half-Life games made on source, including Portal, you will be able to spawn NPCs, weapons, and other entities from their respective games. I have more to talk about Counter-Strike Source, but we'll get to that. This is an odd one. Portal entities kind of work in Garry's Mod. Halfway through the game, the elevators stop showing up. Why? I have no idea. Everything else works fine, but for some reason the elevators decided to just leave after test chamber 8. Just poof. No, I'm not going to add us in because there's no portal gun. I'm no code wizard, and even I know making recursive wormholes sound like a pain in the butt to make. You can't play Infra. Why? I don't know. I'm not a code wizard. I would like to point out the fact that you can play Counter-Strike Global Offensive in Garry's Mod, a game that is dangerously close to being made on the Source 2 game engine. This is another odd one. If you have Counter-Strike Source and Counter-Strike Global Offensive, Garry's Mod will prioritize Counter-Strike Source's maps and not CSGO's maps. That means, if you try to load into CS Office from CSGO, you will be sent into the Office from CSS and not from CSGO. Now if I try to disconnect and unmount CSS so I can play CSGO's Office, things will look like it's going well, but if I were to open up the develop console, Pandora's box has been opened. Ugh. Now, I'm going to talk about this because people really want it to happen. I will not be adding this in because Black Mesa will not be supported for Garry's Mod. That is Crowbar Collective's choice. I don't choice in my opinion. But it is their choice. Mentioning this because I believe the comments will yell at me for not mentioning it. Also, it's my video, I can do what I want with it. Now, some will say you will not need Counter-Strike Source to play Garry's Mod all by itself. You will only need it for popular custom-made content made by other people, which is fine. But here's the issue. The Trouble and Terrorist Town game mode does require Counter-Strike Source. Now you might say, no, Now listen here, you dingus. GM Construct and GM Flatgrass aren't meant to be played in Trouble in Terrorist Town. I'ma stop you right there. Let's say the workshop is down, and or you have no internet. Then what are you gonna do? Needing Counter-Strike Source isn't just a meme. It's a fact. You are going to need it to play the whole Garry's Mod experience. Speaking of game modes, what happened to Melon Racer, or the other game modes made by Garry? Sure, they're on the workshop, uploaded by other people, I should add. I believe those game modes should come with Garry's Mod. Oh, those game modes came from an old version of Gmod, and was completely bleak on modern Gmod, you say? Well, I say, Deadeye Starter! The spawn menu doesn't have certain weapons and entities like the Alex gun or NPC sniper. Sure, they're incredibly borked, but it would be nice to have them. There was even an effort to make them work. Why did they stop working on them? Some of the developers have made add-ons for Gmod before they were hired to work on Garry's Mod. Why didn't they put the add-ons into the base game? Star Wars lightsabers and Nyan Cat? Fine, they're copyright protected. But why not the extended spawn menu, or Godsend Tools Props History add-on? Bar did make that one and no one else, right? If you want to change your player model, you will need to die. The extra death is unnecessary in my opinion. Speaking of player models, the Day of Defeat player models are low poly when you don't have the game Day of Defeat, which is fine, but the player models for Counter-Strike Source aren't low poly when you don't have CSS. In fact, some of them are even colorable. Chell from Portal 2 is a player model, while Atlas, Peabody, and Chell from Portal 1 aren't. Why? No idea. You could say we already have tons of player models and adding more would make things messy. We invented folders and tabs for a reason. Half-Life Source weapons do not have any kill icons. Why isn't there a white rope? No, I'm not counting X-Beam. Something that looks like actual rope. It would be a perfect texture for making colored ropes. Sure, you could say the colorable ropes are a recent addition and the devs didn't know they were going to make the ropes colorable, so they didn't add any more ropes. But that was a long time ago. There's been plenty of time to come up with the concept. Now back in the old days of Gmod, there was a nifty little thing called a toy box. I would be using Cloudbox as a demonstration since the toy box was completely removed. There was a tab where you could download add-ons from garrysmod.com, which will redirect you to steamcommunity.com/app/4000/workshop/ if you were to type that into the search bar of the internet as of now. Toybox will let you download these add-ons while you're playing and use them the moment they're finished downloading. The Steam Workshop does this too, but to a lesser degree. The Toybox will load in any add-on. Doesn't matter what it is, a model, a weapon, an entity, anything. Downloading stuff from the Steam Workshop will only let you load in models and textures while you're playing. That's it. Anything else you'll have to exit the server and go back in. Sure, you could argue this is so nothing will break since some add-ons will completely change the game when it's loaded in. But all of us can collectively agree loading stuff from the Steam Workshop is a little bit of a downgrade. Do not press. The guy who made this button model. Max is 2D. Buddy, that's not how buttons work. What the heck are these balloons? G-Man and Mossman balloons are far scarier than any Gmod ARG floating around on YouTube. Why is the view texture part of the lamp tool? Sure, it's creepy, but apart from that I don't see anyone using this. If you're using this, yell at me in the comments below. The algorithm loves it. Why is the render target texture a part of the toolset? It's not going to work without a render target camera, which I'm pretty sure Gmod used to have, but it got removed for some reason. Why is the flashlight tied to the aux power? I even have episodic set to 1. Garry's Mod has Xbox 360 Connect support. Okay, but why? Not a lot of people own Xbox 360 Connect. I believe more people over via headset more than a Kinect. Stereoscopy. Okay, why not just use standard 3D? And here we have the editing tools that make custom content for Garry's Mod. A lot of issues these things have are mainly Valve's fault since they made these tools and never updated them. But I will add a sin since Garry's Mod tools aren't in the Hammer World editor. Like, come on. That was too easy. Didn't even need textures or models. Don't pirate games, kids. Woohoo! No, I'm not going to add a sin because JB Mod will not be supported for Garry's Mod. That's the choice as a developer of JB Mod, not Face Punch Studios. Minge bags. Okay, I'm American. I don't know the word. Looking it up. Ah, Garry, you silly boy. Magnuson's player model name tag isn't colorable. I am a nitpicky butthole. This is my video. I do what I want. All of the player characters' expressions are set to 0, which makes sense. But there are a few models that contain more mouth options when it comes to face posing, which again makes sense since these characters get real close up to the player's face during Half-Life 2. The issue is that these characters have expression values that should not be set to 0. For example, mouth and jaw sideways. They are set to 0.5 by default. If they are set to 0, their mouths will be curved to the right and oops, the player models for G-Man, Alex, and Magnuson all have curved mouths. The curve isn't displayed in the preview, but if you become them, the mouths will curve. That's not supposed to happen. If I throw something at this window with a prop physics, it works just as intended. But if I throw a prop physics multiplayer at it, it will phase through it like a ghost. Why does that happen? I don't know. Oops. This isn't supposed to happen either. Half-Life 2 weapons are not supposed to be in Half-Life Deathmatch source. The reason why this happens is because the names of the weapons are exactly the same as the weapons from Half-Life 2. Half-Life source maps won't have this issue because Face Punch Studios went out of their way to make it so there won't be any conflicts. See? So why is this happening in Half-Life Deathmatch source? Insert I forgot meme here! I understand not porting everything from all of the source games listed on the main menu. Believe me, I don't want to be mobbed by Left 4 Dead zombies while I'm doing stuff either. But why not add in the ammo cabinet from Team Fortress 2? The only thing it does is replenish the player's health and ammo. Why not point change level, an entity used in Portal 2 that will send the player to the next level without taking anything else with them? If it's for copyright reasons, then why the does Garry's Mod use Half-Life 2 assets? Garry's Mod used to have Counter-Strike source weapons. Now it doesn't. Why? I kid you not. The developers believe the Gmod community can do a better job at porting the weapons. Bruh. Now you might say, TTT uses Counter-Strike weapons. Okay, why aren't they available on the Sandbox game mode? And don't give me that, the game mode was a winner from the contest and the dev team had nothing to do with the Sandbox game mode. Trouble in Terrorist Town is an official game mode for Garry's Mod. The weapons should be available for Sandbox. It used to make props not be affected by the fizz gun by using the context menu. Now you will need to make a persistence file to make that happen. Why does this need to happen? A displacement texture is used by standard brushes in the default map. That's why this red area shows up. Why is it red and implying it's a critical issue that needs to be fixed immediately? I don't know. Demos, saves, and dupes won't tell you what you need in order to play them. Sure, you can get an idea of what you're missing by looking at the developer console. Oop! The developer console has reached the limit. Sure, the game will tell you that you're missing a map, but anything else? Nope. Father Grigori is not an animal, you animal. A lot of officially mountable maps don't have map icons. Sure, some maps are recently made, i.e. Team Fortress 2, but Nuclear Dawn does not have any map icons. That game was made over 10 years ago. Whee! The Stalker from Half-Life 2 uses the model from Half-Life 2 Episode 1. That's fine, but the Stalker is missing an animation. When the player is going to the Citadel chapter in Half-Life 2, there is a Stalker being carried away in a pod. During this scene, they are banging their head against the back of the pod. In Garry's mod, they're A-posing. Whoops. Diane Payne, rest in peace, or Dip Rip as I call it, now goes by Dip Rip Warm Up. Can you at least set the I am the real Garry achievement where it will work with any username with Garry in it? In Half-Life 2 Episode 1, this fence was flipped because the gravity gun didn't have episodic functionality yet. Now that the gravity gun does have episodic functionality, why is the fence still flipped? When playing a mounted game, if any texture, model, or entity uses the same name from Half-Life 2, Garry's mod will prioritize Half-Life 2's stuff over the mounted game. This means some textures will look out of place when playing mounted game's map. For example, Arena Granary from Team Fortress 2 will have windowed walls when they shouldn't. Why does this happen when it really shouldn't? I don't know. Why are the crossbow bolts still there? I cleaned up the map. I cleaned the map up again. Why are they still there? Blah. Where'd my arm go? Dear God, I've been disarmed. I am not sorry. Why does G-Man's ragdoll not have a shadow from a projected texture? G-Man's dead body produces a shadow, but not G-Man's ragdoll straight from the spawn menu. Why do skulls come out onto the conveyor belts when playing Half-Life Source in Gmod? If this won't get fixed because it's a benign issue, then surely this is an issue. In C2A4C of Half-Life Source, turning on the flashlight will cause the water to explode visually. Surely this is an issue that must be on the priority list. Yes, I am aware this issue also exists in Half-Life Source, but this is really bad. The developers went out of their way to make Half-Life Source work in Garry's mod by replacing some of the models with their own models. So why not fix this? I shouldn't have to turn off multi-core rendering! Ah! Wait a minute. Where's the background map? Why are they hidden? Sure, they were never meant to be played, but Garry's mod is a sandbox game. All maps should be playable. Yes, even intro from Half-Life 2. Gmod tools don't have any kill icons. If two maps contain the exact same name, and if there's a map icon available, both maps will use the one and only icon. Whoops.